Surprise guilty plea today from former Sheriff Deputy Richard Fischer that could wind up with him avoiding prison time.
Fischer pleaded guilty to 7 charges involving 16 women, but none of those amended charges involve sexual misconduct, for which he was scheduled to face trial today.
NBC 7's Dave Summers joins us now from Superior Court at Vista with what this deal could actually mean for Fischer in a best and worst case scenario, Dave.
Judge Dan Goldstein ordered all parties involved in this case, Mark and Catherine, not to speak about it publicly. So we sought out the analysis of criminal defense attorney Marc Kohnen, who says that because of this plea bargain and under certain circumstances, Richard Fischer could once again serve in law enforcement.
Are you pleading guilty or not guilty?
Pleading guilty to assault and battery may be a bitter pill to swallow for former Sheriff's Deputy Richard Fischer, but it could save him a lifetime of registering as a sex offender.
He's in a much better position to avoid any consequence requiring that registration.
Criminal defense attorney Marc Kohnen was not involved with this case, but he says Monday's plea bargain weighs heavily in Fischer's favor. With no prior convictions, the maximum penalty is 5 years behind bars, but the minimum is probation.
So the court's going to be making a sentencing determination based just on these 7 counts or 7 pleas, some of which are misdemeanors and just likely to run concurrent with any other punishment.
Fischer pleaded guilty to felony counts of assault and battery, misdemeanor counts of the same charge, and 1 misdemeanor count of false imprisonment. The felony counts are what Kohnen calls wobblers.
Wobblers, meaning it could be a misdemeanor or a felony.
Kohnen says Fischer could petition to have the felony counts changed at a later date.
If he were to be granted probation and successfully complete his probationary status, necessarily the defendant would be able to reduce those first 4 counts to misdemeanor.
If the felony convictions are reduced and Fischer does not have to register as a sex offender, Kohnen says there's a chance, under certain circumstances, Fischer could return to law enforcement. There will be much riding on the judge's sentencing decision.
If I were a judge, I would give him jail time. These are vulnerable victims.
Defendant Richard Fischer is out on bail, and he'll be back here, or scheduled to be back here, on December 10th for sentencing. Live in Vista, I'm Dave Summers, NBC 7.
Dave, thanks very much for that. Attorney Marc Kohnen also says while the district attorney often asks victims to sign off on a plea agreement, it's not really required, and because of the gag order, there's no way of knowing yet if all 16 victims in this case approved it.